Hi, Facebook friends. Nadine Briggs here. I wanted to talk with you a little bit about something I blogged about earlier this week called the information funnel. I have a young man who comes to my center who has a really big personality. He's a great kid with a huge heart. He's very funny, but he can come on a little strong for somebody who's just met him. And he doesn't understand that, as much as there's nothing wrong with his personality and he's a great kid, it can be a little bit too much upon meeting somebody for the first time. So we gave him the concept and the visual of a funnel, like an information funnel. When you're at the tip of that funnel and you've just met somebody, then you want to give out a little bit of information and sort of show a smaller amount of your personality at the beginning stages of that relationship with that person. And then as you get to know them and you move up the funnel and you're having more and more shared experiences and conversations, you can slowly reveal more and more about who you are, more and more personal information as you get to know them better. And certainly when you're at the widest part of that funnel and you're considered friends, at that point then you're completely comfortable with one another and there's a trust and a relationship, and the other person will understand you and you can show the full personality that you have. But it can be a little intimidating at first. On the flip side of that, you might have a child who's very shy and it has difficulty kind of getting out of that tip of the funnel, and they don't know what to say and they don't know how to move up the funnel to develop that friendship. That can be a huge problem for kids. So we want to teach them some conversation skills that are appropriate for their age to help them get to know the other person. For the really young kids, they can talk about things that are their favorites, favorite games, favorite colors, favorite things to do, all that sort of thing. As they're older, you want to have the conversation starters also be more age appropriate. So they might think about things that are about to come in their lives, or things that have just happened, like a summer vacation versus school year starting, and try to find some common interests along that, and then share more and more information about themselves. For the shy guys or girls, they might need to understand that even if you ask a question of somebody and they don't ask the same question back to you, it's okay for you to layer on and say, oh yeah, and here's kind of my perspective on that issue, and share even if they didn't ask. And it's also important for them to understand how important it is to listen to somebody else. When you ask the question, remember to listen for the answer. One really nice tip to give kids is that everybody really likes to talk about themselves, and that's a nice way to sort of endear them to somebody else. And so they can ask questions about them and then listen and then maybe ask a follow-up question. And as you move up that funnel and you get to know somebody a little bit better, you might want to delve deeper and maybe ask a question about how they feel about something, and then ask them why, and maybe have sort of a back and forth conversation about that once you've gotten to that deeper level of conversation. The ultimate goal in conversations is for each party to get to know the other person better and develop a bond or a friendship. And that's ultimately what we want to have happen by the time they're at the top of the funnel.